So today I'm going to be talking about how to improve teamwork in sports. But before we get started with that, I want to take a step back and define our variables. So what is teamwork? We usually use teamwork as more as like an idea than a definition. So the definition, according to, Oxford Dictionary, was the combined action of a group of people, especially in an effective and efficient manner. So we know that there's a direct relationship between teamwork and success. Those people that work in groups are proven to be more successful. In the cultural evolutionary trade-off of ritualistic synchrony, we saw that individuals use synchronous behaviors like chanting and drumming to bond themselves and create a more cooperative environment for them to work in, which is another way of saying they use teamwork. Next slide. So a team in sports is not a team if the athletes are not bonded. They're merely a group of individuals that work together for a shared goal. A lot of teams right now are not reaching their full potential because they aren't accessing that level of teamwork that they need to be a united front against the other team. And I think that we need to fix this, but this isn't an easy problem to fix because every team has a group of individuals that are different in every aspect of the team. They have different dynamics, they have different personalities. All of these things affect it. So now we have this daunting problem. How can we improve teamwork in this seemingly impossible question? So our first strategy that I came up with was to individualize coaching strategies. This would basically take a survey like the sociometric survey and rank the athletes in a social hierarchy. The coach would then use this information to reintegrate the athletes at the bottom of the hierarchy and create a more cohesive environment for them, as well as taking the athletes from the top of the hierarchy and using their natural leadership ability to help lead the team toward a more cohesive and united front. He would also use this information to create a balanced schedule of group and individual training to try to maximize how the athletes learn and train together. The next strategy would be creating a stronger team dynamic. They would use group activities like team dinners, warm-ups, Saturday barbecues, anything that you can think of to create a more bonded group of people. There was a study done by an Oxford professor that athletes that are already bonded on a rugby team work together in a synchronous and non-synchronous environment warming up before performing an England anaerobic endurance test. The athletes that warmed up in a synchronous behavior with their teammates were proven to be more successful and have a faster time. I don't remember by how much, but this isn't working. But they were proven to be much faster and work better together after they warmed up in a group versus by themselves. Teamwork training interventions like, hang on. Okay, so teamwork training interventions like using lectures and group activities like drills and all of those trainings can also work together to help improve athlete cohesion and create a more united team that would be more successful. Okay, our next one is improving athlete mentalities. Athletes are type A people. They like to be in control all the time. They like to know what's happening. They like to be at the front of every possibility. So athletes, especially those suffering from injuries or aging out, any of these things often have a decrease in their mental health. So by focusing on improving mental health, we can make the athletes stronger individually so that they can in turn affect the entire team and make it a more cohesive and strong group. The structural family therapy model has been proven to be helpful as well. It helps to reintegrate boundaries so that it's more successful for all of the team members and they can work better together and realize what their role is within the team. So none of these solutions are perfect. They all have their issues. Individualized coaching strategies is reliant on a survey, and although the athletes might try their best to answer the surveys to the best of their ability, they might not be completely honest with themselves. So this is a strong setback for them on this strategy. Changing the team dynamic, it involves a lot of time and effort. The athletes have to be really dedicated to changing this. And a lot of them, especially at the collegiate level, don't have the time to dedicate to this. improving athlete mentalities also takes a lot of time and effort, and they have to bring in a psychologist from outside of the team to help organize the structure, because you can't have a coach that everybody's already bonded with do this, because they are already biased and they know which ones they want to be where. So in conclusion, all of these solutions I think would be really beneficial to sports teams, but there are some that involve a lot more to work than others. So I think that focusing on improving coaching strategies would be the best option. It creates a stronger team dynamic and improves the mentalities of the athletes on its own, while the other two kind of rely on each other to build up. There's an overall improvement in the level of cohesion between players using this as well. It is really the strongest option for teams that have a limited amount of time to increase their cohesion. And sources.
All right, Katie, what information did you need before you began your research, and how did that information shape your research?
So before I started researching, I really wanted to find out what can cause teams to work better together, and I didn't really know what I was going to find out. But I found a lot of information on working as a group together and doing things that don't even involve the sport that can help increase them in success.
Okay, the second question. If you have more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this issue?
Honestly, this whole thing is fascinating to me, but if I had to pick one thing to focus on, I set out in my beginning to find out like if matching jerseys or matching shoes, like that kind of simple things can affect the cohesion of a team. And I would love to find more information on that, because I think that a lot of teams doing something as simple as that can improve their success tremendously.